Variables are an essential building block for beginners when they start learning Python. And in today's video, I'm going to be going through 10 different examples in just under 15 minutes. But before we do start coding, let's go over a little bit of background on variables. So essentially what variables do is they store data in computer memory. And as someone that's writing out a program, we need to define a variable by describing what it is and assigning it to a specific value. Now, in this video, we're going to be covering 4 different data types. We're going to be covering integers, which is a whole number. We're going to be covering floats, which is a number with a decimal. We're going to cover strings, which is a bunch of characters. And then we're going to be covering booleans, which are true or false values. And don't worry about having to specify your data type every time you create a new variable. Python, it does it automatically. So with this background out of the way, let's start coding and learning more about variables. Okay, so let's begin. What we're going to take a look at example 1 is a variable that's an integer. Now, an integer is a full number and it has no decimal part of it. So for our first example, we're going to say strikeouts equals 5,714, right? So now if I print out strikeouts, you can see 5,714 appears, right? And to confirm what type that this variable is, we go over here, print. You can use type and then put in your variable name. So you have strikeouts over here. So I'm just going to paste that in here. And you can see it shows as a class of an integer. An integer is your full numbers like this, your whole numbers, right? 5,714, you see no decimal. So how about a float number? What's a float? Well, a float is when you add a decimal. So example 2 is floats, right? And personally, I use float way more than integers with Python, but it's good to know both, right? So I want to set ERA, and we're going to set this equal to 3.19. Okay. Now, same exact thing as above, right? We can print out ERA. So print ERA, and you can see it prints out 3.19. And if I go over here to print type, we put ERA, and you can see it prints out float, right? Class float. So this is interesting, right? We didn't specifically define what the data type is. So we just put 5714 and 3.19. Python automatically changes your data types for you, which is really awesome, right? And let's take a look at a third example where we just look at a string. So this is example 3, and we're going to put a string here, right? So let's go to position. We're going to set a position equal to pitcher, right? And if we print our position, print position, you can see it prints out pitcher. And then if we go to print type and put position in here, right? Check this out, str, which stands for string. One more type I wanted to show you guys in this video, and I'm going to make a full video on data types, but we're going to start with the very basics in this video before we move on to that. This is going to be example 4. We're going to look at booleans. Now, I use this all the time, and more on the SQL side than Python, but it's really important to know. So we're going to create a variable called Hall of Fame, and what you'll notice is this has multiple words associated with it. I like using underscores. In the video, I'll show you why we use underscores, but you can do that on this side of things for Hall of Fame. And I'm going to set this equal to true. Now, since it's a Boolean, what a Boolean is, it's either true or false. So you can either put true here or you could put false. In this case, I'm going to be putting true, right? So we have that now. And then you print Hall of Fame. And you can see it says true. And then we can print Hall of Fame, but let's put type in here. So type like that. And you'll see it has bool, right? So think of true, false, 0, or 1. Well, true is 1, false is 0 on the Boolean side of things, right? So just to recap a few data types that we covered that we've attached variables to, we have integer, which is a whole number. Then we have float over here, which is a decimal number, right? Decimal right there. You see 19 after. Then we've covered strings. And then we've also covered Booleans. So let's keep moving forward. Example 5, what we're going to take a look at is chained assignments. Example 5, chained assignments. And this is when you assign multiple variables at once. So let's take a look at some more baseball stats. We're going to do wins, losses, and whip. We're going to say that's equal to 324, 292, and 1.247. And you'll notice also multiple data types, right? We have integer, and then we have a float. And this works when you use chained assignments, right? If I wanted to print all of these out, if I print out wins first, right, you'll see it shows 324. If I print out losses next, right, you see 292. And then you print out whip, you'll see 1.247. So awesome. We know how chained assignments work. What happens if we change the value that's associated with a variable? So example 6 is changing values. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the number of losses. 292, I think it's too high. So what we're going to do is say losses equals 100, right? And now if I print out losses, which by the way, actually this is not going to work because I have this lowercase, and if you see my losses up here, it's uppercase. So you have to make sure that the cases match, right? Uppercase, uppercase, because those are two different things, right? So we have losses equal to 100 now. If I go to losses, we have 100. So we have to rewrite to get back to our 292 number. So if we go to losses like this, set this equal to 292. We have 292 again, and then prints our losses. And we get 292. I should mention, it's just a bad habit of mine, but I didn't put prints here. In Google Colab, when I run a cell like this, it'll just print it down below. The formatting won't always be the same, but just because it's a basic integer like this, that's why. So really, I should have put this as my code, especially because this is a beginner video. But yeah, let me just put print lowercase like that. That's how specifically I should have been doing that. But regardless, you can see changing values, right? We started losses with 292. Then down below, right, we change it to 100. It prints out 100. We go back to 292 in there. Okay. Example 7, we're going to take a look at combining multiple variables. So example 7, combining variables. Okay. So we're going to create a few brand new variables down below. We're going to set up first name. We're going to set this equal to Nolan. Then we'll have last name set to Ryan. And then we're going to create a new variable called full name. And what we're going to do is we're going to say equals. We're going to have our first name here. We're going to say plus. We're going to have two single quotes. We're going to put a space in between, and we're going to say plus last name. So let me run these cells. So I run first name here. I run last name. And then I run this full name. And now what you'll see when I print out this full name, it has a new string of Nolan space Ryan, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. All the data points I've used so far, minus the 100 losses, have been stats from Nolan Ryan. Now, here's an interesting thing. What if we want to create a longer string with an integer? So let's take a look at example 8. So example 8 is going to be longer string with casting. Now, I'm going to make a full video on casting, so don't worry if you're a little bit confused. But what we're going to do this time is create a new variable. We're going to have full name number. We're going to say that's equal to, and I'm going to copy the code above over here, first name and last name. So we're going to start off with that. Then we're going to say plus, and inside over here, we're going to put number. So you don't just have to have a blank in here. You can put whatever text you want in between these two single quotes if you want to create a longer string. So I have first name, which we'll grab Nolan. We have a space. We have a last name, which we'll grab Brian. Plus, I have a space here, right? Then I say number, and then I have a space, and we're going to say plus, and we're going to put in the number. So I haven't actually defined the number yet, so let's do that first. We're going to say number equals 34, and this is an integer. So what I can't do right now is just put number in here, right? This is an integer, and all of these are strings. You're going to get an error. And just, if you don't believe me, I run this, you'll see you can only concatenate string, not integer to string. So how we change this is you literally just put str and you put your number in here, and it casts this number now to a string. And now if we print out our full name number, Nolan Ryan number 34. Awesome. So one more thing I wanted to go over with you guys, and this is going to be example 9, is how you can't name strings. How you can't name variables. How you can't name variables. So the first thing is you can't start with a number. So you can't have something like to name or to last name. That just does not work, right? It's not valid. You could say name to, or you could go name underscore to, or last name to, or last name. All of those are valid, but you can't start with a number. That just will not work. Next, you can't have dashes. So you can't have something like last name. That won't work, right? That's a no-go. You can't have first name. So don't use dashes. Another side of things is don't use spaces. Don't say your variable name is last name or, whoops. Next, you can't have spaces. So you can't have like last name, right? You can't have first name. Make sure you use underscores instead. And you could technically start with an underscore at the beginning too. So you could say last name like that, and that's fully valid. We'll say Ryan like this, and you'll see that there's no error, right? But don't include spaces, don't have dashes, and don't start with a number. This was valid. Don't start with that. We're just going to delete that not to confuse you guys. Don't start with number. Don't use dashes. Don't use spaces. Keep things easy. Also, for example 10, a few other hints. Example 10, other hints. I already showed you a little bit earlier in the code, but Python is case sensitive. So saying things like last name and last name, these are two different variables, right? If I go over here and say Ryan and just add a bunch of zeros or a bunch of N's at the very end, or if I go over here and say Ryan like this, these are two completely different variables, right? If I go over here to print out last name, right? You can see how that prints out. Prints out and last name all capitalized. That you can see Ryan. Next, your variable names should make sense. You'll notice things over time, like with loops, how you'll see like X and Y. That's just standardized across Python, or you'll see I, J, sometimes A, B. But like, you really don't want to have your variable names like A equals Ryan or A equals 5.43 or something like that. You want to describe your variable with a name that's recognizable, because if you don't, when someone reads your code, they might not understand what A is, and you might be the only person that does. You can also leave comments in your code technically to describe it, but it's much better to specify what your variable is kind of through its naming convention. And you can see throughout this tutorial, right? Number, first name, number, full name, last name, first name, losses, different things like that I've specified. Other thing is like, at least like readability side of things, there's so many different ways to format your variables. I personally like using underscores quite a bit. Other people don't. Other people want to use camel case, or they want to go like first name, right? I like going first name. It's easier for me to read, but use whatever your organization utilizes in its code base. There's different companies have their own way of specifying formatting for variables. So if there's a styles guide, make sure to follow that. Otherwise, use what you're familiar with and what works best when you're going to be reading your code, because you're going to be often debugging it. So I think essentially that's it for this first video on Python variables. So with that in mind, I think you should have the basics down. Hope you found this video on Python variables helpful. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm uploading multiple coding videos every single week. And assuming that you're watching this video, you're kind of new to Python, I have other beginner-friendly videos down below in the description, as well as a full playlist, or you can just click right over here.